Hello and welcome to Dental Team Talk. My name's Glenys Bridges and I've been involved with training and development in dentistry for a number of years. Today I'm going to be talking to Jacqui Barker and Sue Moss of Barker Moss, and they're going to tell us about a very exciting new project that they've introduced very recently. But to begin with, can I get Jacqui to introduce herself and explain a little bit about her background and the project that we're talking about. Over to you.
Hi. Thanks, Glenys. Thank you very much for having us. My name's Jacqui, and I set up Barker Moss Healthcare Recruitment back in 2013 together with my business partner, Sue. And since then, we have been working with clients and candidates throughout the UK. We have lots of practices in the Midlands, as well as UK based. We also have we work with the Ministry of Defence, providing locums, dentists, hygienists, nurses, you name it, we do it. I was a former dental nurse, started in 1983. Went into recruitment shortly after working with Sue, actually, as a locum, and came back into it back in 2013. So we decided to launch bookalocum.co.uk very well. About 6 months ago, we started working with it, and it's finally come to fruition after a lot of work, a lot of testing, but it's there and it's ready to go. So, but it's been launched.
Absolutely, it sounds so exciting. Sue, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. I'm Sue Moss. I've been around in the dental profession a very long time. I have my own company, DRA UK Recruitment, but I also, since 2013, Jacqui, or 2012, 2013, I've worked with Jacqui with Barker Moss Healthcare Recruitment. And as Jacqui said, we will work with independents, corporates, clients, hospitals, and this book, A Locum, is quite exciting. Jacqui won't say this, but it was one of her brainchild. It's her brainchild, if that's the right word. It was one of your midnight thoughts, wasn't it, Jacqui?
Oh,
how about this? Yeah, and I know when Jackie's being productive, because she'll say to me the next morning, she'll message me and say, I need to discuss something, and this came out, this brainchild, and I thought, you know what, I can't see anything wrong with this. This is, because I'm a bit negative at times, I'd say, Jacqui.
You have your moments.
And I have my moments, and I just said, you know, this is amazing. And this is how it was launched, really, from Jackie's idea.
Sounds absolutely fantastic, because these days people almost expect to have that internet-based the urgency and the immediacy that you get that you couldn't possibly do on a one-to-one basis if you were answering the phone and putting things together. I mean, I know how it's been over years and years. You've got a list of people that you've got to match with, whereas with a good computer system, this sort of thing happens almost immediately, doesn't it? And,
absolutely.
and it's what people expect, I guess, these days more and more. But then again, you've also got a group of people that are not comfortable with technology, and you have to hold on to that fact, don't you, Sue?
We do. In actual fact, we were talking about this earlier. We have got some clients and even some locums, I wouldn't say reticent, that's not the right word, are anxious about using it because they still like to pick up the phone and talk to us and say, could I book a locum, please? Which is absolutely fine by us, because whilst we have this amazing system where they can just click on and book somebody, they can also phone us. You know, we are there, we'll always be at the end of the phone. And if they would rather just say, okay, I need a nurse, or I need a hygienist for next week, how do I do it? Can you help me? If they're really reticent, we will do it manually, won't we, Jacqui?
Absolutely.
We will do it manually. And we're not just got this book a locum system and walking away. We are hands-on working with them and trying to encourage them to use it. But if they can't and are nervous, then we're there manually to help them.
It's a hybrid system, isn't it, really, I guess, where
Yeah.
people can pick their menu, really. If they
Yes.
want to put themselves onto your database, they can do that in the middle of the night, and you'd be surprised how many from our system, how much goes on in the hours.
Yes.
Yes.
would normally expect a business not to be open. So you sort of expand your opening hours and your services
Yes.
to people, and particularly
Exactly.
dentists that have had a phone call in the middle of the night, which they do say, oh, we've just tested positive for COVID, and then they can get onto your system, and maybe even by the morning somebody's picked up the message.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
absolutely perfect, really, for today. So the first thing I was going to ask you both was what prompted the development of Book a Locum service, and I think you've covered that perfectly already, haven't you?
It was purely one night. It was a particularly busy night, and I probably had about 4 or 5 dentists contacting me to try and find locums for the next day. So it was like between the hours of 10 and 12 of a night time, where it's hard because I'm not always available. Sometimes I sleep, and sometimes the locums are asleep. So it's always a bit difficult. They're a little bit reluctant to call me, especially midnight. I have had it in the past, or indeed sort of anything from 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And I was just lying in bed, not able to sleep because I was worried about not getting these people in. And I suddenly thought, it would be so much easier if we could just put it all in one place so that everybody can access it. The other issue that we had was when we were contacting locums to see if they were available. Obviously, we've got to contact them all at the same time, but there would be a slight delay between them receiving the texts. And then, a nurse would come back and say, yes, I can do it. And I'd say, well, that's great, I'll book you in. Then 2 seconds later, somebody else would say, yes, I can do it. But like, sorry, somebody's beat you to it. It was like, oh my, and this is the fairest way that we could do it, because everybody gets the text at the same time. And then it's basically up to them, when they go on and log in and accept it or not.
And that's the fairest way to do it then, because whoever gets onto it first will accept the position.
Yeah. And with your company being national, how do you select the locums to notify? Because geographically is going to be obviously one of the important things, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when the client goes in and searches for a locum, that client will only be identifiable by a postcode. So when the locum gets an invitation, it will say you've been invited to a placement, please log in to see, and it'll tell you where the practice is, where it's located, and the hours. So it's up to them basically whether they say yes or no. If they look on and they say, oh no, that's far too far for me to do, then they'll just reject it. So that's the easiest way. So at the moment, there isn't a geographical search. Because most of our locum work is in the Midlands. Yes. We do work nationwide with the MOD and things, but most of it is around the Midlands. We don't have that issue at the moment. Obviously, when we grow and we get bigger, then it's something that we're going to have to incorporate, which we can do. Our IT guys are
the system will take it. The system has been built to take it nationwide.
Yeah.
So it just, at the moment, because our sort of client base is mainly sort of Worcestershire, West Midlands, Warwickshire, it's around that sort of area. But the more postcodes come in and the more people register, then that postcode will match with the person looking for work.
Yeah.
So it will grow. It isn't a case of, well, we need to put some more software in to make the place bigger. It will take any postcode in the UK.
Okay, so it benefits both the locum and the client because it's instant, and it gives them the information that they need to decide. Maybe they see a postcode, they know it's a practice they've been to before, and maybe it was difficult to park, or maybe there was other reasons why they don't want to rush back there again. And they make that choice before being involved and having to say anything to anybody.
Yeah, and because it's completely anonymous as well, obviously we can't put clients' details down on there, so all it will have is an ID number.
And it's data protected as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
good.
when the client goes in to search for a locum, it will come up with whoever is available for those days, whoever has put those available days in. It will also show that locum's particular experience and extra qualifications. So if they're looking for somebody with ortho, max fax or implants or whatever it happens to be, it will show them what they've got. And if they want somebody that's got ortho, they put a tick by that box and invite them. If they have had that locum before, there will be a green tick by the side of it, so they'll know they've actually had that locum before.
Yeah.
It's something it's something we're also looking into. We always ask for feedback from both clients and candidates when they go to a new client. Because if there are any issues, then we need to know so that we can, make it right. But it's something that we want to put in to the system that the client can actually put feedback and say, it's just difficult with GDPR trying to work around that. So that's
because
something
sorry, Joan, I was just saying, I don't know whether we'd said that the actual locum's ID is protected as well.
Yes.
The locum will have an ID number. So it won't be like Sue Moss or Jacqui Barker or Glenys Bridges. It won't say the name. It will have an ID number. And the client, as Jacqui said, once the clients use that person, their ID number will tick green that they've used before.
Okay, and that stops it from being person identifiable. And
absolutely, it protects the individual.
Yeah, and you could perhaps have a star rating or a gold or platinum. This has been rated as 5-star for the last 10 assignments and things like that. And all of this, I mean, this is such a lot of information that the person that's bringing a locum in needs, because it's not everybody that's a locum that's fantastic, is it?
Yeah, and the thing is with locums, they can be perfectly, amazing at their job. They can be the best dental nurse in the world, but there may be a clash of personalities. We all know, there are always going to be issues. We're never going to be able to please every single client and every single candidate. That's just the way it is. I can remember many, many years ago going out to a locum position, and it was just dreadful. And I can remember ringing, well, at the time it was Sue's business partner or somebody that worked with Sue, and I can't go back there. He's awful. And I'd been around to about 500 different practices, and I was really flexible, but no, you're never going to please everybody, but we'll try our best. And as you say, the rating, I think is an excellent idea.
Yeah, I mean, I did enough in my time as a locum dental nurse, and you can see that there are some practices you're welcome with open arms, and everything is made straightforward and it's considerate, and you have some form of induction when you arrive and you feel like you can do a great job there. And then with others, everything you need to ask, you feel like you're intruding on somebody else. And, all of those sorts of things will give the practice a rating as well, I guess, if you were.
Yes, absolutely. It works both ways. Yeah, absolutely.
And the difficulty is as well, I think, with there are certain, obviously, standards and everything and compliance and CQC, but as we all know, not every practice and not every locum will adhere to those regulations and policies. So it's really difficult trying to make it all and get everybody to fit. But at the end of the day, it is an online booking system, but we are also there at the end of the phone. So, we're not just, as Sue said earlier, we're there. So if there are any issues, we had an issue earlier in the week, and a dentist had a bit of an issue, and the practice just called and said, look, can we try and sort this out? And that's the way it has to be. We're there for them.
But we've got a really good business support executive, we call her now, don't we?
Yes.
And she's brilliant, because she is now ringing clients and introducing the concept to them and helping them to register on. So she's literally hand holding them and helping them to register. Again, that's important. And she will do the same with locums, that she will hand hold them and help them. She's been brilliant, Jacqui.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, you know, she's starting and working around. So she started off locally and she's moving out. The other thing I also wanted to say, and I know it's not really dental related, but this system has been built that we can expand it into all aspects of healthcare. So it can go on to GPs, general nurses, specialist nurses, mental health nurses, whatever, physios, pharmacists, you name it. It's there, it's ready, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like a future-proof system, which is always worth doing, particularly when you invest a lot in something, as you no doubt have invested a huge amount in bringing this system to a usable level so that you can start, and as you use it, you develop it. This is what's happened with our systems, you know, almost every year there's major changes that we make because we think, oh, wouldn't it be good if the system would do this, and this, it would be beneficial if it did that. And that's how they grow, you know, they grow sort of organically, don't they, all the time.
Yes.
That you're using them.
Yeah.
Does this portal handle payment claims from you at your locums as well?
No, it doesn't. No, it's designed. I mean, it was a huge system. It's like it's taken 9 months really from the first thought to actually up and running, and it's very intricate. So no, we don't deal with finances on that side. That's totally separate.
Okay. I mean, automatically when a job is confirmed, we will be emailed. And it will be diarised, so we know that job is then booked, so then we will just invoice accordingly, as we always do.
Okay, so that's really another part of your hybrid where you've got the human touch all the time as far as the finances.
Absolutely.
So
yes, they can
be something that hasn't gone through on the computer. People are going to have their payments as they should do, which of course is always important, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. One of the questions that when a client actually registers onto Book a Locum, one of the questions they are asked is when can locums expect to be paid? Because it's something that we have to advise the candidate, that the locum, when they accept the booking, when they can expect to be paid. So it's either 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, or a week, and they can tick. But basically, the locum knows exactly when they're going to get paid. So, and we know when they're going to get paid as well. So, and
also the rate of pay is agreed as well, so they know exactly how much they're going to be paid. That's all part of the paperwork.
So you've got your terms of business that really clear before anybody steps out of the house. Which
absolutely,
they can't register without accepting and reading the terms and conditions. So, you know, and that all together with the fees and everything as well. So it's all there, it's all transparent. They know exactly what they're doing, both the dentist, both the client and the locum.
And also the locum will take a compliance pack with them, and in it they have all their essential documents that they have to present. And we ask them to take that pack with them, as they would pick up their car keys. They pick up their compliance pack. It may be that they've been to that client before, but it doesn't mean to say that client doesn't want to see a particular document on the second or third visit. So we just ask them just to take the compliance pack with them. We're always on the other end of the phone if the client said, oh, she hasn't brought it with her, can I just check something?
We always keep copies of everything here anyway, and obviously when we go through, when we do a booking, we look at and make sure that everything we've got is in date, and if anything's due for expiry, for example. So, if it's coming towards the end of July and we haven't got their GDC registration, then we ask them for it. And equally, we know when their indemnity is going to be running out. So we'll just say, can you send me your new document as soon as you receive it? So yeah, we're on the ball there.
It sounds like you've really got your finger on the pulse of what people need at the moment, because I think these are difficult times across the board, and more people are needing to rely on locums, and they need to know that their business is going to still operate with the same standard of patient care as it would have done with permanent staff. And unless locums are properly screened, unless they're fully informed and supported, then they're not going to do that. And it sounds like you've thought of everything here, and that you've got excellent services that you can give to your people. So
we've tried. we've tried very much to put it together, thinking now, what will they ask us? What will we need? What do we all need to offer? And we really, it's been on the cutting room floor so many times, but it's specific now to what we know they will ask if they're picking up the phone.
And times are different as well, Glenys, and Sue and I have recognised this when, you know, it's something that we hadn't even necessarily thought of. When we were doing manual bookings, if a dentist or a client rang and said, can we have a hygienist, we'd go through everything. Is there a nurse provided? Are there AGPs? Do they need an FFP3 mask? Blah, 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 all these sort of things. So that's something else that we've had to incorporate. But you grow, as you said, you grow with it. When you might get a phone call and say, oh, we hadn't thought of that. So it's something we can add in.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you both all the best with this, and I know your clients are going to enjoy using it, and I know your locum nurses will too. So I don't see how it can be anything but a win-win. So thank you for your time this morning.
Thanks, Glenys.
Thank you for your time, Glenys.
You're very welcome. I'm going to close it off now.
Cheers, take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.